In this video, you're gonna learn the difference between inbound sales and outbound sales. And you wanna make sure you watch this video until the end, because if you are just starting in sales or maybe you're thinking about it, you gotta understand the difference between the two, because although they may sound similar, they're completely different type of sales that will affect your day-to-day. Now, before we go ahead and get started, my name is Patrick Dang, and let's go ahead and give this video a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications if you wanna see more videos like this, and let's go ahead and dive in. Now, the first one we're gonna cover is inbound sales, right? What exactly is inbound sales? And let's go ahead and use the whiteboard to demonstrate what that is. Now, for inbound sales, this is pretty much how it's gonna work, right? On this side, you're gonna have your prospects, people who, may be interested in your product or service. They just be random people, surfing the internet, right? Or maybe they saw an ad. So what's gonna happen is a company is gonna create some kind of marketing material, whether it's a video, blog, advertisement, maybe they did a podcast interview. Could be many different types of inbound leads, right? So any type of marketing that gets people interested. So the people who watch this video, there's gonna be a percentage of them that say, oh, that's really interesting. I want to learn more about this company. And so what happens is from that marketing material, there's gonna be a way for these people who are interested to move to the next step, and that's gonna be a phone call, right? So essentially, that person is gonna give their email address, give their phone number, and they're gonna pass it along. And then the company, let's say whether you own a company or you work at a company, is generating inbound leads, right? Because the leads are coming to you, right? And this is the concept of inbound leads. Because you're creating marketing material and giving reasons for why people should come to you, they do all the work in coming to you. You just gotta create the marketing material. And then from there, you got sales reps that are gonna be on the call. So essentially, an inbound closer, inbound sales rep, whether you work at a marketing agency, consulting, maybe a technology company like a Salesforce, a HubSpot, Microsoft, pretty much anybody that does B2B sales, they create marketing material and they have salespeople, that is inbound closing, right? So essentially, that they're gonna have a calendar, and then the prospect is gonna book a time to call on their calendar, and they're just gonna pick up the phone and be like, hey, John, how's it going? I saw you watch this video and blah, blah, blah. And they're gonna have a conversation about getting this prospect to turn into a paying customer. Now, this is very lucrative in a sense and not too difficult, because if you have the sales skills to close these deals, then all you're really doing is taking calls all day and trying to close, right? And so you don't have to reach out to anybody or do cold emails or cold calling, because the company you're working at, or if you own the company, you're doing all this marketing so that it makes the sale easy to close. And the job of marketing is to help the sellers sell, right? And because if the marketing is good, then the sellers have an easy time closing. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about outbound sales, right? So in outbound, essentially you have the company, right? So on this example, the company is on this side. On outbound, it's reversed. The company's on the first side, and they're gonna do some type of outreach, whether it's cold email, cold calling, LinkedIn message, whatever the case is. They are reaching out to another person that don't know who they are, don't know why they should be interested. They're just trying to initiate a conversation. And from there, what's gonna happen is if that prospect is interested after they read that cold email, for example, then they're gonna book a call with the company, right? And so in this example, the situation is reversed. In inbound, the leads come to you because of the marketing material. Outbound, the company has to reach out to the prospect to generate that call. So it's very different in that you're reaching out to people that don't know who you are. Now, if you can kind of see that outbound sales is much more difficult than inbound, because if you're an inbound salesperson, all you're doing is taking calls with people who are interested. If you're doing outbound, you have to reach out to another person who doesn't know who you are, and you have to be like, hey, are you interested in having a meeting with me? And obviously, most people are going to say no, but a small percentage will say yes, and a percentage of that may actually buy something, which makes the entire process worth it. Now, in my opinion, if you want to become a very valuable salesperson for a company, you definitely want to know how to do outbound, and you definitely want to know how to close, right? Because if you know how to get on the phone and you close a deal, you can definitely do inbound, because all you do is close deals with people who are already interested. But if you also know how to reach out to people cold and you can close them, that is the holy grail money-making skill, because no matter which company you work at, or if you want to start your own company, you know how to reach out to another person, get on the phone with them, even if they have no idea who you are, and then close a deal. And if you have that skill set, you will always make money for the rest of your life just because you can work anywhere. But if you only know how to close inbound leads, well, what happens when there are no inbound leads? Can you reach out to these people by yourself? And if you can't, then you kind of run the risk of only being inbound closing. But if you can do the outbound and you can do the entire process, that's gonna be a more valuable skill overall. And so, when it comes to you and your career and what you wanna do, should you do inbound sales or outbound sales? It really just depends what you want to do and what you wanna learn. If you want to maximize your learning and be as valuable as possible to a company, definitely learning outbound is an excellent skill to learn, because it's gonna pay dividends for the rest of your life. However, if you don't wanna reach out to people or do cold calling, things like that, inbound is okay too, but you have to understand you run the risk of only being able to work at places that have marketing to generate those inbound leads. So if you wanna work less, I guess inbound. If you want to really learn that skill of reaching out to people, outbound is the way to go. And so with that said, that is going to be the difference between inbound sales and outbound sales. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and if you want a free training on how to sell anything to anyone, I actually got a free training and the link in the description. So make sure to check that out, especially if you are just starting your sales career or you're getting started, but maybe you're not getting enough training from wherever you work. Well, that training is gonna get you started in learning to become a better salesperson. So link is in the description, so make sure to check that out. With that said, my name is Patrick Dang. Hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I'll see you in the next one.